Yeah. All right. We are back.
The boys are back.
Welcome to the show. It's Ringside Report. I'm Dave. Fred Garcia's here. AJ DeLesio is here. We are on TSN 690 on Friday nights. We are on YouTube every Thursday night live, as we are now back after what feels like a really long hiatus, a long vacation. We've been gone for
2-3 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks. Well, it's been 2 weeks for the show and 3 weeks since we've all been together because Fred was on vacation before I took my vacation, and now we are back from vacation back to
We're
work.
fresh, man. We're looking good. Look at Freddie's biceps.
Freddie's looking jacked as ever.
I'm growing my hair, man. Take a look at that.
Your eyebrow hair? What
Nose
hair are
hair.
you growing? So we're here. We got a lot of MMA to get to over the next hour. We're going to talk about UFC 241 and what happened there. Stipe knocking out Daniel Cormier in an incredible fight. Nate Diaz getting a victory over Anthony Pettis. A really nice win there. And Paulo Costa beating Yoel Romero. Some people thought Yoel won the fight. We'll get to that.
Come on, Dave.
We'll get to it. We'll see what you thought of the fight and the decision there. Paulo Costa becoming, I think, the number one middleweight contender in the world. We'll see what you think. We'll also talk about some stuff that happened while we're on vacation, like Conor McGregor punching out an old man, right? Conor punched out a man in a bar.
Well, he punched him. He didn't punch him out. Like,
Oh, yeah, he punched him, and the old man didn't even budge.
Listen, that's
really.
debatable. I was saying that
Connor's
he threw...
lost his punching power. It's over for Conor McGregor.
I don't think he punched him, guys.
He's
I
got
looked at the
nothing
video.
left.
It
It's
looked like-
obvious. His left hand is done.
Dave, it looks like he threw the glass of whiskey in his face. He
Okay,
didn't punch him. But
we'll talk about that. We also will talk about Henry Cejudo, who wants to fight Valentina Shevchenko in the first ever intergender championship fight. Is he for real about this? What is going on here? And should he even be talking about this? And John Jones wants to fight Brock Lesnar, or does he? We'll talk about that and so much. MMA, Bellator's got a show this weekend. Matt Mitrione is fighting Sergey Karatanov. So
Carrot Top.
yeah, he's fighting Carrot Top. It's Carrot Top versus Matt Mitrione.
That'd be awesome, man.
And I don't know, Carrot Top's pretty jacked. I think he's gonna
He
win.
is pretty jacked, actually.
Yeah, I got
Not
Carrot.
long ago.
I got Carrot
Meathead.
Top by TKO.
Meathead versus Carrot Top.
Carrot Top is going to win.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
I got Big C Top for the
Really?
victory.
No way, man.
You
Carrot
got
Top-
Mitrione? You going Mitrione over Carrot Top? You got no faith in the debuting Carrot Top. Big C Top. Yay. I'm going for him. Okay, so let's. AJ has no answer. He doesn't even know what to think about all of this.
Man, we're back. It's like
We are back. We are back from vacation. We are on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net. This show is available as a podcast on iTunes, but it's also available as a video show, as a radio show.
we're all
Any
over the
kind of
place, man.
platform you want to ingest your media, you can watch or listen to Ringside Report. You can't read the show, although I think on YouTube there might be a subtitle option, so you could
Lord
do
help
that.
us.
But yeah, you can get this show any which way you want it on iTunes, Google Play. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net for more info on everything we do. Go to our website. What is the website?
It's www.ringsidereport.net.
Yes, indeed. Yes, it is.
Man,
That is true. So, AJ, my vacation was great. Freddie, how was your vacation?
Incredible.
Are we going to talk about what we did on vacation, or are we just going to move on?
No, let's talk
A
about it.
little
What did
bit
you
of
do,
fi-
Dave? I mean, come on.
I was
Everybody
in
wants to
Nova
know.
Scotia.
Well, first of all, I'm just going to say one thing. You guys were on vacation. Me and Johnny North were like holding
Each other's hands?
each other's hands.
I hope it was
we were
your hands.
We were watching like WWE. We were watching UFC 241. And let me tell you, so many people watch our show. We were at a particular bar in Montreal, and they love our show. So one thing for sure is they keep asking, where's Dave Simon? Where's Dave Simon? So I had to pretend I was Dave Simon.
So that's what you did during your vacation.
You
You,
we had
impersonated
fun,
me.
man.
you pretended to be Dave Simon.
I did.
I feel like you pretend to be me more than you should.
I mean,
I feel like it happens a lot.
man, it's.
Can we
it's-
talk about the Derek from Nova Scotia incident?
Yeah, poor Derek.
Yeah. So I'm in
Derek.
Nova Scotia, and there's a guy that I know in Nova Scotia named Derek. And I guess he sent me a message somehow through AJ. AJ gets this message, sends me a direct message on Instagram from the Ringside Report account, by the way, which I don't really like, that you're sending me and other people messages from the Ringside Report account. So if you get a DM on Instagram, or if things are liked by Ringside Report on Twitter or Instagram, that's AJ doing that. That's not me. I have really...
Or my intern.
I don't know why you have an intern either. I'm not really comfortable with people that I don't know being involved in the show, people I've never met being involved in the official Ringside Report Twitter and Instagram, and we may have to have a more serious conversation about that off the air, Mr. D'Alessio, okay? But, so you send me a DM on Instagram to my personal account, at Dave Simon MMA, from the Ringside Report account, and I know it's you, and it's...
Yeah, because I told you it was me.
And I can get the official, or the actual wording here of what you sent me, the ridiculousness that you sent me.
What the heck did I say?
So, hold on, I gotta switch over.
What's that picture there, Dave?
I don't know. This is the Ringside Report Twitter account, or Instagram account, which you are all over. So here, you sent me a message.
Oops.
First of all, you sent me some creepy stuff that you were doing, and I didn't approve. And I'm not going to talk about that, but that is just not good. And then you write me this other message saying, Dave, this guy just sent you a message. Dave, this guy just sent you a message.
That guy, exactly.
Hey, David, how are you? It's Derek from Nova Scotia. Now, I know a guy named Derek from Nova Scotia. He's a jiu-jitsu guy. And I think he lives in the area where
him.
I was. It was definitely him. AJ doesn't know this guy, so it's no way he made this up. And I'm like, okay, AJ, where did he send me this message? I know him. I want to write back, but I don't know where he sent the message.
Okay, but wait. I'm going to take AJ's defense a little bit.
Thank you.
Like, if you know him that much, how come you don't know how to contact
exactly,
this
Dave.
guy?
Come on.
Well, I don't know him that well. I don't live in his
Right.
area. I don't.
Freddie's got a point.
It's not
there.
like I know him and we're buddies and we hang out all the time. I just know him from the internet, as you know people.
Well,
You know?
look, I'll be honest.
Okay, but AJ, you're sending me a message saying this guy sent you a message trying to get in contact with you. Because obviously he saw my Instagram where I posted a picture from Pictou, Nova Scotia. He saw I was in Nova Scotia and he wanted to get in contact with me. Maybe he had a jiu-jitsu gym somewhere that he wanted to invite me to where I could have got some rolls in and got a little bit of a workout while I was there. But no, I was prevented from doing that because AJ, I say, where did you get this message? And you say, hey, Dave, and I get no response for 5 days after I ask you, where did you get this message? 5 days, no response. Where did you get this message?
AJ's on vacation. He's
5
busy.
days later, AJ says, hey, Dave, I'm not sure where this message came from.
I'm serious. I have no idea.
You get a message.
Listen,
it must have come from somewhere.
I'm telling you, Dave, I still can't figure it out. I went like crazy for hours looking for this guy. What's his name again?
Derek.
Derek. Listen, Derek, if you're listening, and I know you're listening, or if you're watching or whatever, send a message back to Dave Simon, MMA.
It's too late now.
And where the hell did you send that message? I can't find it.
Well, it's too late now because I'm not in Nova Scotia anymore. I mean, I could have met up with him and talked to him.
But Freddie's got a point. If he was
I met
such a
him
good
once
buddy,
at the Pictou Lodge. He was with Mark Hominick at the time.
Oh, Mark Hominick. Well, okay. That says something. I was going to be like, what's up with the lodge?
Shout out to
Lodge.
Pictou, Nova Scotia. Had a great time there. Love you all.
I love how you just name dropped, like
What?
Mark Hominick.
Hey, man, that's how I roll.
Hey,
all right?
listen, man. No, look. Hey, listen. Have you guys been watching the Instagram? You know how I roll with Johnny North? Have you seen that picture?
You hang out in dimly lit bars with Johnny North.
That's true. We do.
Yeah.
But now we're at PJ's, which is called the Manoir now, which is very brightly
Stop
lit.
doing free promotion.
No, man, they're listening to us because they said that they're going to be. They like our show.
Okay.
So listen to this. But you see who we hang around with? We hang around with George St. Pierre. George, you saw that?
I'm not sure I know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking.
See, you guys got to be on
So you
Instagram
mean-
more often so you can
So
get
you
those
mean
messages.
the one picture that you have with you, Johnny North, and George St. Pierre that you keep posting?
No, yeah, exactly.
As
The
if
same-
you hang out with George St. Pierre every
But
day.
that was from the wrestling.
we just
event.
changed the backdrop. Exactly. It was part of the wrestling event this summer.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Nate Diaz was talking about George St. Pierre. Was he saying he wanted his brother Nick to fight him or that he wanted to fight him?
Look,
what's going on?
Yeah, he's saying that. I mean, actually, like getting to George, in fact, Freddie was talking about it earlier. You were
George
talking
is
about
still
it.
talking about fighting Khabib. That's not going away.
No, actually, listen to this. I heard an interview with him and Chael Sonnen. Did you hear that, Freddie?
I'm hearing George saying like he's retired again.
Yeah, and you know what?
He seems to mean it.
I don't know if he's retired, but what he was saying is this: to Chael, and Chael, you know, he's such a cool cat, that guy. But the thing is, George was trying his best, and the manager that represents George doing their best to get this fight before he retired. So he wanted that fight. Khabib wanted that fight, but for some reason, the UFC did not let this fight go through. And Chael had his theory on it. He says that, you know what? They don't give a crap, in a sense. Are we at 10 minutes yet? They don't give a crap.
We're on the radio, AJ.
Oh, yeah, it's true. So we're good. So
you can't swear here, AJ.
I didn't. I said crap. It's like
but
if you have a baby, he
anyways,
craps.
move
so
on.
anyways, so what he's saying is that
I don't think crap is part of the 7 words you can't say.
exactly, Fred.
AJ
Fred
was
is on
asking
my
me
side.
a question about. I'm not. Just move on.
Okay, so what he was saying, Chael, is this: is that they think that the UFC is so upset with George because he doesn't defend his belt that he is looked upon as a no-show again. So, which is kind of crazy because all the fans want to see the Khabib fight. Even George said it. He says the fans wanted to see this fight. He wanted this fight. Khabib wanted the fight, but Dana White and the
You
boys,
really like pointing out the obvious and rehashing points that we've been making for the past several months.
No, for sure.
To almost a year on this show about George St. Pierre.
Yeah, but George.
That's what I've been saying.
I get the impression that George is starting to be at peace with the decision of retiring, and I'm starting
I don't know about that.
I don't think the UFC is gonna budge, and I don't think George is gonna fight for it that much. And is Khabib really gonna fight for this fight? I don't believe it. Like,
It's
there's
up to
other
him.
stuff.
It's up to Khabib to fight for the fight. It's up to him to demand that he gets George St. Pierre.
He did.
I think that he's gonna have to fight
Look,
Tony
it's never
Ferguson.
too late. Like, he could still come back in a year, 18 months. George still
Look, and George said it
young
himself.
enough.
George said it himself. He says the fair fight next, if he beats Poirier, is Ferguson, and that should be the way it should go. And that's what I'm saying. We'll see what happens.
If Khabib could beat Poirier and beat Ferguson,
he has a shot at
then
George. But the biggest obstacle right now is the UFC brass, and they're the ones not allowing this fight where it does not make sense because there's only so much shelf life.
So in the meantime, give me a George Nick Diaz fight. I'll take that. Like, if we go back,
George doesn't want it.
No, George, yeah.
He said he's not interested in it.
So easy,
It's
though.
not worth the risk.
But that's another
there's
one
no
too.
risk. It's easy.
But think about it. You had Nate Diaz.
Not the George.
Think about this. You had Nate Diaz that fought at 241, which was a spectacular fight. Think about it. He's been on the shelf for 3 years. What's taking these guys so long to have a guy like Diaz fight? I mean, it's 3 years later. You've got George, who's still possibly looking to fight.
It's the UFC not offering them fights that they want. That's what it is. These guys have come to a point where they're not going to just take any fight that the UFC throws at them. It's going to have to be the best opportunity at the best time. And that's why Nate Diaz took so long to fight, is because he only wanted to fight the best guys. He wanted to fight
it's
a fight that made sense for him.
It's unfortunate that the UFC does this to its fans because, look, Nate Diaz should have been fighting the last 3 years. He could have had easily another 3 fights, one a year.
Exactly.
We're not asking him to fight a bunch of times a year, once a year. And it's the UFC not coming to terms. I mean, come on, UFC, do something. We want to see George. We want to see Nate Diaz. We wanted to see Nick. We still want to see Nick. But, I mean, like, UFC is too quick to,
I want to see a lot of guys. I want to see Johnny Walker. I want to see Costa again. I want to see
those are other
Romero
reasons.
again.
How about a fight?
Those are other reasons.
How about a fight that's relevant today? I want to see Nate Diaz versus George Masvidal.
Wait, what? But I think you said, like, Masvidal's not a big enough star recently.
Well, I want to see it because
like I was the one saying Masvidal's a huge star, and like both of you guys were like, nah, Masvidal's not there. I mean, I want to see that fight. I'm down for Nate versus Jorge, and it's gonna happen. I think
people want to see it, and I think that Nate calling him out after he beat Pettis made that fight make a lot of sense. Nate saying that's the fight I want. I think
because Nate's a visionary. He sees a star potential in Jorge. He knows Jorge's a star right now.
He also knows that Masvidal is his step to getting whatever he wants. If he beats Masvidal,
I'll tell you what he doesn't want. He doesn't want
position.
He doesn't want.
Also, it's a good matchup for him stylistically.
Exactly. He doesn't want Usman. He doesn't want Covington. He doesn't want none of the guys that could bring him to the ground. Like so.
It's a good fight for Nate. It's against a respectable guy for Nate. And what I like most about it is that Nate's interested in it. And I just really want to see Nate Diaz fight. At this point, it's the Nate Diaz show. Like Nate Diaz said, and I'm going to swear here, all right? So get the beep ready, okay? Get the beep ready. It's coming, okay?
Hold on a sec. Let me get the...
Like Nate Diaz said, he is the bad motherfucker champion.
Say what?
Okay?
Baddest motherfucker.
The baddest motherfucker champion, Nate Diaz. Now, if he wants to hold the BMF title, we're going to call it the BMF title from now on. If he wants to be that BMF champion, I want to see Nate Diaz defend his BMF title against, whoever's next in line. And I think George Masvidal fits the bill. It's a special kind of belt. I think somebody should make him a belt and he should carry it around and really work that gimmick. But I like it. If Nate Diaz decides that George Masvidal is up to the challenge, that George Masvidal deserves to fight Nate Diaz, I'm down with it because I just want to see Nate Diaz versus opponent X. And if opponent X happens to be George Masvidal, then I think we all win.
Please admit that Masvidal is a better opponent than any other option. Like that's a fight people want to see.
Connor's
you
better.
know what?
Connor's a better offer.
I don't agree.
I think Connor's a better offer. In fact, Connor's been talking about it, saying he wants to fight Diaz.
And that's another thing. You want fights that'll draw these guys out from
other
their
than
houses,
Connor.
right?
Other than Connor,
you
who's
want
never
a fight
fought.
that's going to entice Conor McGregor. And if you can entice Conor McGregor into fighting into the UFC against Nate Diaz but nobody else, then give him Nate Diaz,
Like, I feel you're shortchanging a little bit Jorge here because Jorge gets this fight because he himself is a star. Okay, yeah, Connor's a bigger star. Connor's a bigger star than everybody. But other than that, who is available? Who's interesting for Nate? Who's really a matchup that could draw the attention? And Jorge's the perfect opponent for that. Yeah, they're perfect for each other, and I want to see that fight. That's a great fight.
I wouldn't mind seeing Nate and Tony Ferguson go at it. No?
Is that fair? Is that fair for Ferguson?
I mean, Tony wants the title.
I don't think that's... Yeah, exactly. I think
You don't think that's fair for Ferguson?
I don't think that's fair for Ferguson. I
don't
Ferguson
think Nate's going to fight at 155 anymore, so that might be the issue, like the weight division, because Nate did fight against Pettis at 170 pounds, and I think he's not willing to drop back down to 155, but I don't know. I think Ferguson and Nate would be a good fight, and I think Ferguson could win that fight. I think Nate could win that fight.
But I mean, Ferguson, okay, maybe if Ferguson wants to go up at 170 while he's waiting for his title shot. But other than that, if you're Ferguson, you're like, oh, I want my title shot right now. I've been waiting long enough.
If Khabib beats Dustin Poirier in September, do they give Ferguson the fight against Khabib?
Of course, I would.
Is it actually going to happen, though?
It should happen.
They've tried to make this fight 5 times.
Listen, look how popular Ferguson
Twice
was.
it has been canceled the week of the fight. Once it was canceled the day before.
Yeah, but I mean, look, maybe Conor McGregor comes into the picture for a rematch with Khabib. But other than that, Tony Ferguson's the clear challenger at 155. He's the guy that everybody wants to see. That's the fight that you could sell. Like, Conor McGregor, I would agree, could pass in front of a lot of people. Like, Conor McGregor is the wild card. If you're offered Conor McGregor as a fight, you pick it because it's a money fight. Yeah, exactly. But other than that, the fight for Khabib is Tony Ferguson.
It is, but I'm not sure it's actually ever going to happen. They've tried to make it so many times.
Yeah, but that's because he was injured and other things that came across. Like, he had some health issues and whatnot. Like, he was going through a very, very tough time. That's life. But he has the shot and he deserves the shot and he looked good.
Well,
241.
How about this?
What? Tell me.
If you guys want to see Masvidal fight Nate Diaz so much, and you want to see Khabib fight Conor or fight
nope, I'm gonna tell
Khabib
you,
fight Tony Ferguson.
I'll tell you no right away.
What's Conor gonna do?
Fight George.
I thought you were gonna say they should fight on the same card, and I'm gonna say I want to see Nate and Jorge main event a 5-round
for
fight.
the BMF title, BMF championship of the world.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. But what about George? Let's not forget. What about Conor and George?
I mean, does Conor want to fight? I mean, Conor's always getting in these stupid stories. Like, I'm sorry. I'm gonna flat out say I think Conor McGregor's championship days are done.
Say what?
I'm gonna have even a more crazy statement here.
Crazy.
I believe Conor McGregor might only have one fight left, which he'll probably lose, which will be a huge payday. but he'll lose again. I'm sorry. I don't believe Conor's taking his training seriously. If it were right now, I would pick Khabib, of course, to beat him. I would pick Tony Ferguson.
Nate?
Oh, yeah, I would pick Nate. I would pick Jorge Masvidal. I mean, I'm not convinced Conor's training.
Well, he is
I'm not
in the
convinced
bars
he's
when he's
training
knocking out
either.
some older people.
But he didn't even knock out that guy. Conor looked terrible. Conor's done, man. I'm telling you.
No.
I think Fred's right. Conor is done. I saw him throw that left hand at
He's
that
going to
old
have
man.
one more fight to cash in.
Listen.
And after that, he'll have a nice retirement. Or look, he'll have one fight, and he'll have another 2-3 years off, and then might come back, for another fight. But he's never going to come back to being an active fighter where he's fighting at least once a year.
I'm surprised you guys say that because, look, he went outside of his element and he went into the boxing world. And, in fact, at 241 with Johnny North, I was talking to a pro boxer, and he told me straight up, and I wanted to tape it so I could bring it to you guys. He said, again, I'm going to say it, that guy had the cojones to do it, and he went 10 rounds where most people are predicting him to get knocked out in the first.
Give me that
let's not
money.
forget
I'll
it's
have the
McGregor.
cojones.
And to be honest, with that whole incident with the proper 12 and all that kind of stuff, I mean, look, there's different theories.
So let's
It
go.
might not
Let's
be
go
Conor,
into
it
that.
might
Let's
not
get
be
into
Conor.
what happened.
Me and Yoda
there.
agree on that.
Okay, so your conspiracy theories aside, Conor McGregor,
What?
there was a video shown where Conor McGregor is buying shots for everybody, pouring his own proper 12 whiskey for everybody in the pub, and this one older gentleman does not want to take the shot.
That's an insult in Italy, buddy.
And there seemed to be some words exchanged, and Conor McGregor there's people getting between them, and McGregor throws a left hand at the guy's face, and the guy kind of turns around as he gets hit, kind of in shock, like, did Conor McGregor really just punch me in the face? He doesn't fall off the bar stool, doesn't really sell it that much.
He doesn't spill his drink, that's
Doesn't
for sure.
spill his drink, nothing happens. And, I don't know if there are going to be charges on McGregor. It's just a thing going on right now, and it's another story in a long list of stories. I mean, there was that one story that there was a potential sexual assault charge. There were rumors of that going on, but nothing ever really came of that. Nothing seems to stick to this guy. There was a potential.
Like Teflon
there was a
Don.
woman who was accusing him of being the father of her child, but nothing really came of that in the end. You never really hear the kind of follow-up to these stories. It's weird. There's a lot of stuff getting thrown at McGregor, and some of it you wonder, well, maybe it's not all Conor's fault. Maybe people are trying to come at McGregor.
Exactly.
But maybe some of it is self-inflicted. This one here where he's punching an old man, that doesn't seem very cool. But hey, if you're an old man, why you gotta refuse Conor McGregor's whiskey? I mean,
Especially
is McGregor
proper 12.
like it's pretty mean? Like, if Uncle Benny offers you some of his wine and you don't take that wine, he's gonna slap you in the face, and he's got every right to. AJ's Uncle Benny.
Listen, he's from Naples, man.
AJ,
They don't fool
your
around.
Uncle
Yeah,
Benny.
man.
He makes us the great wine, right? It's fantastic wine, which, by the way, I'm still waiting for my bottles. I thought you were
the
going to
batch
bring.
is coming out soon. We're getting a new batch for Ringside Report.
Good, but if Uncle Benny himself would offer you a glass of wine and you don't at least take a sip and he smacks you in the face, I don't think you would blame Uncle Benny for doing it.
No.
So it's kind of the same thing with
Yeah.
McGregor, right?
Well, he didn't slap him right away. There was a little bit of like.
Fred's
talk.
like, no.
No, Fred, hear me out. There was a little
Fred's
bit of
trying
talk.
to rational here.
Connor, how about you get paid for fighting? I'm just like, if I were in your
He's got
entourage,
enough money. He does it
I'm
for the
not sure
love of
about
the
that.
He
game.
insulted proper 12.
Love
man.
of the game. He insulted proper 12. AJ, we're right on board with this. Fred, I think I'm
Yoda.
wrong because I agree with AJ. Something's wrong.
High five Yoda.
AJ has this Yoda doll that he's brought into the studio for some reason. I
With
don't
a
know
white
why.
belt.
Because AJ on his vacation brought back an alien. So I went to Nova Scotia. Fred went fishing, aka the strip club.
AKA the strip club.
That's what AJ says. Fred, defend yourself here.
He did go to a strip club, didn't you?
AJ said
No,
you
I
go.
didn't.
Okay.
no,
That
I
was Johnny
didn't.
North. I'm sorry.
Oh,
sorry,
was it?
Johnny.
And trust me, in the neighborhood I was, if there's a strip club, I'm not sure I want to go there.
I think you do want to go there. And AJ, you went searching for aliens. That's what you did on your vacation.
And I found one. Look at this little cute guy.
Yeah, you did find one. A jiu-jitsu.
Yoda.
What is that, Alf?
Say hello to my little friend, Alf.
Are you a big Alf fan, AJ?
Yeah, I love Alf, man.
Yeah?
He was the best.
He
used to
was the
eat
best,
cats.
eh?
You remember that?
Who's that guy, Alf, who's always talking to us on Twitter and stuff? Is that you or somebody else?
Not me.
It's not you?
No.
Somebody you know, Alf?
No.
You don't see that Alf sometimes?
Yeah, I do.
There's
He's
like a
cool
guy named Alf.
Why don't? For sure.
That was an alien, right? That was...
Aliens love me, man. They love me and George St. Pierre. George knows what I'm talking about.
All right, we got to take a pause here. When we come back, we're going to talk about Daniel Cormier losing to Stipe Miocic. John Jones wants to fight Brock Lesnar. Is that a good idea? And is Henry Cejudo versus Valentina Shevchenko a good idea? I don't think so. AJ still playing with his aliens, among other things. It is Ringside Report. We're here on TSN 690. Short pause for the cause, and we come back with more. Stay with us.
Because we're live on 2 channels.
Are we? We're so big, man. We can't hold one.
Yeah, something happened.
Hey, what's happening?
It's no problem.
It's all right. Delete one.
Press the button. We'll delete
Hey, what was I going to say before? Oh, yeah. I was going to try to say something on the McGregor thing. By the way, people should know that that video was done in April. So why is it coming out now? And who's to say that's Conor?
Because it is Conor.
He doesn't even have tattoos on his hand like Conor has.
Fuck out of here.
Come on, I'm telling you, man. Me and Yoda agree.
Let's return to the regularly
what up?
scheduled
Isn't that
broadcast.
E.T.?
Yo, what up? It's E.T. E.T. was the best.
I thought that was E.T.
That was a great movie. Romantic movie.
Yeah, we're on 2
Phone
different...
home, kids.
How is it romantic?
It's E.T., man. It made everybody love, like, what was it, Skittles?
I,
M&Ms?
I don't get the romantic part still.
There's 2 different feeds going on right now for Ringside Report. I don't know why. I pressed a button I shouldn't have pressed. I'm still in vacation mode, all right?
That's what his girlfriend said.
As long... What? Oh. Fucking guy. All right.
Ching. TKO.
I'm
Hey,
gonna
when are you going to have a little David Simon, too?
I'm gonna fucking drug you, okay?
I'm sure most people think that you are.
I'm gonna feed you some fucking weed brownies next time I see you, okay? Don't eat anything I ever serve to you ever again.
Did you serve me something
That's a
that I don't know
warning.
about?
That's a warning.
Well,
You're asking him when he's gonna have a Dave Simon too. Are you gonna like say anything about
When are you
that,
gonna
or-
have an AJ Jr.?
I have some good stories during my vacations because we're trying and
What?
Whoa,
Do you have
whoa.
a video on it, Freddie?
no video.
What do you mean good stories?
Well, I mean, we went to this fertility clinic and this doctor, because we're just trying to speed up. So this doctor goes like every 2 days, and I'm like, basically, doc, you're telling me it has to be less? Like, what kind of logic is that? Like, you should do it every 2 days because your little boys are stronger if you wait 48 hours.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, you want me to do it less? That's not gonna work. Why you want me to do it less? That's not how you get a baby.
Whoa. You're saying you're going more than every 2 days?
Well, yeah, man, I'm young
Damn.
still.
Talk about Viagra. What
Talk
the
about
heck?
time management.
TRT. Talk
I'm just
about
impressed
Vito
by your
Belfort
time
like,
management.
levels. Hey,
Very
this is
impressive.
Vito Belfort here.
Also, your seduction skills. Very seductive man, this Fred. Ladies cannot.
It's very
help themselves.
primitive, man. Very
Welcome
primitive.
to Quebec, man.
Wow.
Come over here, baby.
This
48
commercial
hours.
break went somewhere I did not think it would go. Fred was revealed way more than I thought he would on this
Fred,
fucking show. Holy
Trust me, I didn't
shit.
reveal everything yet.
Like even,
Fertility clinic, imagine. Like, okay,
Were
so
you successful?
so in French,
Do you have success?
well, we just started, but like in French, I see this thing. It's called a salle d'homme, and I'm like, what is that? What's a salle
let me cover
d'homme?
Yoda's ears here. This
So
is
just
good.
I can see what you say. I had to have it explained to me what was a
A men's room in a fertility clinic. What do you think they're doing in there, AJ?
I don't want to know, man. But it
No,
sounds like
AJ,
fun.
AJ, what? It sounds like fun.
It sounds like fun.
What do you think they're doing in there?
There's a TV.
What do
There's
you,
a TV?
AJ,
Yeah.
what's the TV for?
Well, I can imagine. To listen to Ringside Report, www.ringsidereport.net.
Do you know?
And on YouTube, Ringside Report,
Does he know?
D-O-T-N-E-T.
I'm not sure.
How come it got like so bright in here?
Do you know?
What?
If you ever see a men's room in a fertility clinic, go.
What's it for?
Go. That's where people just go and wait.
Yeah,
and
go
chill.
right in. If you ever see a men's room at a fertility clinic, just burst right in. Don't knock. Just go right in, AJ. You'll love it.
All right. All right, guys.
You still don't know,
Where did
do you?
this, isn't this a show about MMA?
I thought it was, but
Damn.
Fred took us into a dark place.
No, well, it's kind of interesting, actually. It's kind of interesting.
Well, it's not dark. It's actually quite
Just show
nice.
the video to the world. Can we put it on the tube or can we? You got it? Freddie.
There's no video.
Whoa,
forget
what are you
it.
talking about?
Hey, talk about videos. I don't want to say.
Can we get
but
back to
there
the
was
show? We got more MMA to talk
I was
about.
going to talk about certain UFC fighters that were kind of exposed in the last little while by hackers.
Really? Who?
Yes. I
You
don't want to say the name.
You see anybody's penis, AJ?
No, it was actually on the female side. That's why, kids, cover your phone up.
Who got hacked? Tell me later. Don't tell me
I'll
on
tell
the
you
air.
later.
I
It's
don't.
all over, yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
want
wanna-
people going out to search for it.
Yeah, it's just like
Just
that's why-
AJ searching for it,
No, it was.
and not
actually-
even sending me the links.
Who got
I
hacked?
did send it to you.
Who got hacked?
A UFC fighter,
You sent it to me? I didn't get anything like that.
just like your buddy out in Nova Scotia.
You
Maybe it was
just-
him that sent it to me.
You sent me a lot of spam, AJ. All right, let's get back to the regularly scheduled program.
Are we back on?
All right, yeah, welcome back. It is Ringside Report. I am Dave. Freddie is here. AJ is here. We are on TSN 690.
And little Yoda, man.
Little Yoda, the alien.
E.T.
I was calling him Alfie, but whatever. So
Alfie.
we are here Friday nights on the radio side, and if you want to see more, especially what we do during the commercial breaks and what we talk about, it got pretty intense during the commercial break. Fred revealed stuff that I really cannot even repeat on the radio.
You could kind of say that he's getting sponsored by Viagra right now.
I think
Ovo.
so.
Ovo.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Okay, so Fred, yeah, so that's all during the commercial breaks, and you can see the whole show unedited with commercial breaks included on the YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/ringsidereport.net, youtube.com/ringsidereport, DOTNET. More info on our official website, ringsidereport.net. So for those of you who learned maybe a little too much about Freddie Garcia during the break, we'll be getting back to the MMA here. Stipe Miocic knocks
Miocic.
out
Miocic, like
Miocic?
Cheech. Hey, Cheech.
Yeah,
Like Cheech and Chong?
Oh, like, hey, Cheech. It's an Italian.
that's how you pronounce it.
Hey, Cheech.
Miocic.
You never heard
Miocic, eh?
You never heard that? Hey, Cheech. Uncle Betty knows what I'm talking about.
All right. So Cheech,
Yo.
Cheech beat DC
Wow.
on Saturday
What a
in
fight.
the rematch. Incredible fight. DC beat him the first time by knockout, and Stipe returns the favor, a TKO in the fourth round. Incredible fight, man. Daniel Cormier looked really good in the first two. I scored it for him, and then Stipe.
First two?
I thought
I gave him the first three. I know
Yeah, I
you
gave
gave him the
first three.
third, but
I gave Stipe the third. I thought DC was
No.
slowing down, and then DC, got picked apart. Those solid body shots from Stipe started it all off, I think. Hit him to the body and then nailed him with some really good shots to the head, and it was just too much for Daniel Cormier to take, man. Stipe was durable. He took some heavy shots. After watching the first 10 minutes of the fight, you're like, how are these guys still standing? Like, these are two hard-hitting heavyweights with really good hands, and they were both getting cracked with major shots. And I was impressed with, more Stipe being able to withstand those shots, because the first time around he wasn't able to, right? DC beat him. I was impressed with Stipe's chin, but also DC. Like, DC took some heavy shots from Stipe and just kept on
DC
moving
was
forward.
getting into the pocket. Like, he wasn't scared. He was cutting that distance. My first thought was, wow, Stipe, like when I saw Stipe coming out, he looks in good shape. He looked cut. He looked in shape. And Daniel Cormier also. I gave him the first 3 rounds to Cormier. I thought even round 3 was still his.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, Stipe turned it around with those body shots. And look, body shots hurt, man. I want to see the trilogy right now. This was a great fight. And one last thing I'll just say is this is amongst the great heavyweight title fights we've ever seen. Like,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is amongst
Oh,
the
yeah.
best.
It
Look,
might even be the greatest heavyweight UFC title fight we've ever seen.
I would say, yeah, I agree
It was
with that.
really
I mean,
an
these were
incredible fight.
two professionals.
Back and forth, too. It didn't
Yeah.
seem like it was headed in Stipe's direction in the first bit of that fight, first couple
But he was
rounds.
resilient, right?
And then it turned around, and he managed to finish DC. It was incredible.
But this wasn't only like just a great fight. It was probably one of the greatest cards I've seen in a long time. And the UFC always pumps out amazing cards, but this one was just on top. And like to go back to like Stipe, I mean, Stipe, I tip my hat to him. These are two great fighters that it's hard for me to pick one over the other. DC is a great champion. He's a great ambassador for the sport. Stipe is amazing. He's a fireman. These guys are guys that you want to meet in the streets. They're going to talk to you. But the thing is that I was giving it to DC. He had the first 3 rounds, and then what happens is that Stipe came in. He found his range, and when he dropped those like liver punches, he saw that it was hurting DC, and DC knew it. He needed to get away, but he kept dropping his hands. That was one mistake, and where he should have.
Well,
where I
DC
think
still had to cut the distance because he was
cut it.
smaller and everything. So
But
Stipe adjusted great.
for sure. But in the first round with his takedown and his slam, I mean, DC looked
That slam
good.
was incredible.
It was incredible. You're picking up a guy like Stipe in the air and taking him down. That is where I think DC kind of lost it. He should have continued taking Stipe into the octagon, into the by the cage, and taking him down and continuing with that fight because his top mount was so good. He had such good control on Stipe that, you know, as the rounds got a little bit later and Stipe found that hole, which was the liver punch, that was it. You know?
And DC talked about that after the fight, where he maybe didn't follow the game plan of his coaches as well as he could have, where he didn't wrestle as much as he was supposed to, and maybe that led to some bad shots being taken from DC. You know, he took a lot of punches where maybe he should have been looking to engage in a more wrestling style fight. I felt like DC, for a lot of it, was walking through Stipe like he couldn't hurt him. Like, Stipe's punches weren't really being respected by DC until it was too late.
But
well, he still had to, I go back to cutting the distance. Like, Stipe had a considerable reach advantage. Like, I don't have the numbers, but you could see, like, Stipe could hit DC before DC could hit Stipe, but DC just had to walk through it, and then once it got close in the pocket,
I think it was
DC was winning
reach.
that.
I think it was an 8-inch reach. But the thing is that those punches must have hurt DC because in the second round, where I gave it clearly to DC as you did, Fred, and I think yourself, Dave, when he went to when the round was over and he was in his corner and he was talking to his coaches, I heard him say, "Did I win that round?" He wasn't sure that he won the round.
Yeah.
The thing is that there's so much adrenaline going on, and for sure you want to stick with your game plan. And DC is probably one of the highest IQs in fighting out there. This guy is a true professional. But I think, like, with the momentum, the adrenaline, the pressure, he didn't even know himself that he won that second round. He had to be told that he did.
Yeah.
So it's either that the punches were so heavy that it was starting to take him off his game, or it was just it's a mix of both.
I'm gonna give more credit to Stipe and say he adjusted those body shots that he added in round 4 is what changed the game.
Oh, absolutely.
And also the durability. I think Daniel Cormier maybe didn't set his pace to match where the fight was going. Like, I think maybe he was looking for the knockout a little bit too much and got tired. He really seemed to tire out in that third round. And I wrote on Twitter after the third round, I was like, man, either DC took that round off, like, kind of to rest. And you see that sometimes in big fights where guys will, you know, they'll throw a lot in the first couple, but then slow down for a round when they're a little tired, just kind of recuperate, not throw as much, and then come back, you know, in the fourth and fifth stronger. And I thought maybe DC was doing that or getting tired. But I think he was getting tired. Like, I think he just got tired, and when he got hit with those body shots, you know, when you're tired and you get hit hard in the body, it's way worse,
It was a heavy tempo also. He was like...
That's it. He was pushing a really heavy pace, and I think, you know, finishing Stipe early in the last fight, it was, the first round, right? Was it the first or the second when they fought the
I
first
thought it was
time?
the first round.
Yeah, it was, like, super early.
It was
you
quick.
know, he made quick work of Stipe. Yeah, first round. You know, he beat him in under 5 minutes the first time. I don't think he expected to be in the fourth round when he started the fight. And he found himself there, and it didn't work out. I think Stipe, you know, figured out DC, and DC didn't make the adjustments. I think Stipe, after the first fight, he realized what he did wrong, and after the first couple rounds, he figured out what he needed to do against DC, and he did it. And
we'll
DC,
see that in the third fight, though.
Well, that's it. I need to see that third fight. At this point, I want to see the trilogy. I think this is the next fight for DC more than John Jones.
Like, DC losing is not the worst thing for him. Like, we'll see if he fights again. I hope DC announces that he comes back and fights a trilogy with Stipe, because I think now he has a storyline with another fighter than John Jones. Before it was always like, who could draw with DC? Who can we get to fight DC? We were talking about it like just before this fight. And now Stipe's that guy. And if DC beats Stipe, that would be a great send-off. That would be a perfect way to go into retirement. Like,
Yeah.
But you know what? What it came down to is if you really wanted a storyline, was DC beating Stipe again, and then you would have John Jones coming out and challenging DC. That was his ammo. He was hoping that DC was going to win. That's the reason why he's making those statements against Brock Lesnar. He's going to fight Brock Lesnar. He knows that Brock Lesnar is not coming back to the UFC, but he's just showing that he was ready to come up.
I think John Jones loves the attention, and
he does.
Like
but
he saw the whole buzz. He saw DC losing. That maybe I'm not. Like John Jones probably in his head also thought like, I'm the best opponent for DC. I'm the guy he needs to fight. Blah blah blah. And now like John Jones. Now you're not that important.
Well, I think the Brock Lesnar fight is possible. I could see Brock wanting to come back for a big fight like that. I think it's not out of the realm of possibility.
I think it'd be.
I don't hate the idea.
No, I think it'll be a lot to chew for Jones to go up against a guy like Brock in heavyweight.
So let him try. And if Brock squashes him, so be it.
Yeah. Well, his wrestling is not going to be. He can't wrestle Brock, that's for sure.
I'm
no
picking
doubt
John
about
Jones, by the way. But
what?
Of course.
What? No way, man.
I don't know. I don't know.
As his first,
I think I'd go with John Jones, but it's not an easy fight.
I believe. Look, we saw Brock take down Mark Hunt. John Jones is a much better athlete than Mark Hunt still. Like, I'm not sure if Brock doesn't get that takedown, Jones is going to pick him apart. Like,
yeah.
Jones stuffs like 2 or 3 takedowns of Brock. Brock starts like puffing because he doesn't have the greatest cardio. I mean, I'm picking John Jones. I'm feeling confident on that. I hope it happens.
Standing up is a way better fighter than Brock Lesnar.
For sure, but I don't think Brock is going to want to stand. I think he's going to bull rush him, take him up against the cage, and just slam him down. And that weight difference is going to be the hardest thing that John Jones ever got. He thought,
F5.
So let's do it. Let's make that fight. That's the fight I want to see.
White, you know what? You heard it on Ringside Report.
More than Stipe and DC, I'd rather see John Jones, Brock Lesnar. That's blockbuster. That's WrestleMania, pal. Let's do it, damn it. Come on.
Yona agrees, man.
Let's do it.
But it has.
What are we waiting for?
Brock Lesnar to say yes, for the UFC brass to finally say yes. Because how long are these guys going to be around? Time is ticking, man.
The clock is ticking, Dana White. Let's put these fights together already. I'm sick of waiting around for these guys to fight. Nate Diaz just fought. It was an incredible experience. The guy was smoking weed at his pre-fight open workout. He was smoking a blunt and then doing shadow boxing. It was incredible, okay?
He dominated
Anthony Pettis in an awesome fight. Looked great in that fight, but it took 3 years to get him out there. Do not make me wait again. Dana White saying that the negotiations are going nowhere already for the fight between Nate and Masvidal. That's the fight that Nate wants. Give him the fight that he wants. Masvidal wants it. Nate Diaz wants it. What are you waiting for, Dana White? Put it together. John Jones wants to fight Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar wants to fight John Jones. What are we waiting for? Khabib wants to fight George St. Pierre, and George wants to fight Khabib. Why are we waiting? I don't have time to wait around for Dana White to get the best deal or whatever. Just pay them, get it over with, shove them in an octagon, and wait for the money to rain.
Dana, you used to get things done. What happened in recent years?
No, you know what? He's concentrating on his boxing thing.
I realized
that's what I said earlier.
Dana was never the one that got things done.
Who was it?
It was Lorenzo Fertitta.
Say what?
Ever since Lorenzo Fertitta left...
Are you saying Dana's overrated?
Oh, what? I'm saying Lorenzo is the real guy
overrated.
I'm saying that when Lorenzo Fertitta and Frank Fertitta and Zuffa owned the UFC, big fights got done. What the fans wanted, the fans got. And I know that a lot of fighters, when the negotiations stalled with Dana, they went to Lorenzo and the fights got made. They got the deal that they needed.
Yeah, but Dave, like I just
said I'm telling you.
Listen, like I just said a few minutes ago.
The UFC being sold to this conglomerate of Hollywood
EMG?
Jabronis, your friends, Hollywood AJ,
listen, man.
your buddy Harvey Keitel and all his buddies out there in California.
I think it's Leonardo DiCaprio, the Wahlbergs, and all these guys.
We love you, Harvey Keitel, not
Harvey
you.
Keitel.
Harvey
Respect.
Keitel's cool.
He's awesome.
He's your
man.
buddy.
He's my buddy. Man.
But, all these other guys that own the UFC, they're not making these fights happen. They're just pencil pushing, all about the budget, all about the business, and they don't see the bigger picture of growing the sport.
Well, they'll see
and
the bigger
making it
picture if they ever go
larger than life.
Listen, if they ever go public, which the talks has been like, they're not yet. They're not public yet. EMG, I don't think so.
You don't even know what you're talking about.
I am, man. They're supposed to
what's
be going
EMG?
I have no idea what they stand
So
for.
what? But that's not even the
that
name.
That is who owns the UFC.
It's WMEIMG.
Yeah, same thing. That's exactly what
you
I said.
You said EMG.
Close enough, man.
EMT,
BIG.
DDT. You don't know any of this stuff.
Yes, I do. Where's my Biggie tape?
DMT. AJ, you on DMT?
Run DMC.
I think you're on
there it is.
DMT. That's your problem.
Listen, whatever it comes down to is this.
THC 1 2 3. LMNOP.
ABC. Baby 1 2 3.
BINGO. Okay.
Michael Jackson.
So
listen. Dave?
Yes?
Yes.
AJ?
Yes. I was gonna say this.
Did
very
Paulo
clear.
Costa beat Yoel Romero?
Of course, man.
It was a decision victory, 29-28.
Freddie.
A unanimous decision victory. I had Paulo Costa winning that fight. I agreed exactly with the judges.
Exactly.
I thought Costa won
all 3 rounds.
No.
Yeah, sure he did, Dave.
No.
He won all 3.
Well, he won 29-28. Okay?
Yes.
On all 3 judges' scorecards, that means he won 2 rounds to 1, and that's what I agreed with. That was my assessment of the fight, but I can't remember.
It was 29-28.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm trying to remember what rounds I gave Paulo Costa. I think it was rounds 1 and 2.
Well, that makes sense. Yes.
Yeah, 1 and 2,
down.
and they gave round 3 for Yoel. I thought the fight was fantastic. But a lot of people were mad, thought that Yoel won the fight. I don't know what rounds they scored for Yoel, but I had 1 and 2 for Costa. And in a 3-round fight, that's enough to win. Even if you look good and you look like you're winning at the end of the fight, doesn't mean you won the fight. It's about who won the rounds, and I think Paulo Costa won the rounds.
Look,
Fred, you disagree?
No, I thought Costa won, but I could see people giving... Like my best friend Marshall, one of my best friends... He couldn't believe that Yoel didn't win it, and
Come on, Marshall. What is his first fight he ever watched?
Hey, he's Marshall Moore. He's the original Eminem.
Oh,
Marshall.
But
Slim Shady.
Anyway, shout out Marshall.
But do you know who we're talking about, AJ?
No.
Marshall?
Marshmallow.
Anyways, my buddy Marshall had Yoel, and he loved how Yoel was trash talking and everything. Like he was a big Yoel fan.
How can you say that?
Anyways, it was a tight fight. It was a good fight, man. Just say
good fight, yes. One of the best fights I've seen.
It was a good fight, but I really thought that Costa won.
Yeah. It doesn't even come close.
So did I, but I could see some people giving it.
Listen.
Like it's a decision. Everybody sees a different angle, everything.
Well, I don't know. The Nate Diaz fight was pretty clear.
Some people use sativa, others use indica. That could all affect you, man.
And sometimes some use hybrids. Okay, Fred? Some people are just in the middle. Now,
majority draw.
Nate Diaz and Anthony Pettis, that was a clear-cut decision. Like you talk about, decisions, they could go either way. That's not really the case in all decisions. Like Nate beat Pettis. Everybody agreed.
Yeah,
right?
But how can you really say that it wasn't? I'm not saying it wasn't close the third round with Romero and Costa.
I thought Romero won the third round.
It wasn't. It was pretty
Can we
clear.
agree that Nate defeated Pettis by a much bigger margin than Costa? Okay,
yes.
That's all I'm saying.
And he beat Pettis, and Pettis is one of the greatest fighters out there, and he beat him much better than I thought he would have come back.
Incredible. Nate looked incredible, especially
amazing.
After 3 years away. You didn't know what you were going to expect from Nate, and as great as Anthony Pettis has looked lately, to see him get beat up by Nate Diaz like that, I mean, coming off the knockout of Stephen Thompson, and then he turns around and loses to Nate Diaz like that, amazing. You know Pettis is still one of the top fighters in the game.
He loves
Nate
our show.
came in after 3 years away, and put in work and got that victory and looked awesome doing it. Always got that great style, the Nate Diaz anti-hero, weed smoking, mother effer. He's the BMF champion of the world, and it was great to see a Diaz brother back in the UFC. I love Nick and Nate Diaz. They're two of my favorite fighters of all time. I love everything they do, and I was so happy to see Nate.
You remember we were dissing Dana? Let's diss Dana also, because you remember Dana a couple of years going.
I wasn't dissing.
Dana a couple of years ago going, oh, Nate Diaz doesn't move the needle. Nate Diaz doesn't get people interested. No, Nate Diaz is a huge star. He's been a huge star for a while. Come on, Dana, recognize.
Yeah, but look, Dana says a lot of stuff too. He says that women would be fighting in the in the UFC. He says a lot of stuff. Sometimes I think he plants stuff so that people could start talking, and he builds controversy. Dana White, did I say Dana before? I meant Dana. He is a genius when it comes to making the UFC what it is. Let's be honest. Dana is definitely like, he's a genius. So we can't like,
what?
He's a genius.
You were just burying him like 3 minutes ago.
I wasn't burying him.
Saying how he doesn't put fights together, or was that just me?
He doesn't. But again, it's not him that makes that decision.
Yes, it is.
Overrated.
He's the president of the company. What are you talking about?
There's a whole
overrated.
He's the one that tells you that Conor McGregor's retired, that George St. Pierre doesn't want to fight anymore.
I think he plants the seed for controversy. That's what I think he does.
Controversy against him?
To build the hype, man.
That doesn't make any sense.
We were just looking at Instagram right now. So the UFC Instagram has surpassed the NFL in the amount of Instagram followers. They hit 15 million in the UFC. The sport is growing. The sport is just, it's growing all over the world. Dana knows something that we don't know.
Like who the notorious B.I.G. is?
That
you didn't know? Completely unaware of who Biggie is. We asked you who was better, Biggie or Tupac, and you said Biggie.
Yeah. But
you didn't know who he was. Who's Biggie? What's his name?
Well, you said it before.
Yeah, but what is it? I'm asking you again.
Notorious B.I.G., right?
Okay.
He's my homie, man.
Oh, yeah?
Don't talk to me.
Name some of his songs.
What are you talking about, boy?
We played some of them
for you
for you
before. Are you West Coast or East Coast? Like Nate?
Is Biggie West Coast or East Coast?
It don't matter what coast, because
no, it does
matter. It's all
matter.
about love here.
No, it does matter.
It don't matter.
Biggie was what coast? West Coast or East Coast?
I don't know. He's Pacific Coast. I don't know.
That would be West, right? Pacific?
Yeah.
Is it?
And you're wrong.
You think he's West Coast?
No, he's East Coast, man.
Biggie Smalls in
Central. How about the Central guys? Why do you like this? Like, what's up with you guys? What about the Central Coast guys?
I like that you don't know that if Biggie or Tupac are East or West Coast.
I know that they're both not like watching the UFC right now, 241. That I know.
Do you know that? Isn't Tupac still alive?
Didn't I impersonate Tupac one time? Yes, I did.
Yeah, but you don't know any of his songs. You couldn't name one.
Dave.
Can you name one?
You know why? Because I'm Central, man. I'm between the two.
I like that.
Come on. One of the like commercial ones, like Uriah Faber.
One.
Come on, no, that's Biggie, Tupac.
That's what I said.
What's the song Uriah Faber comes out to? Come on.
What the heck do I know? I don't remember what song he comes out to.
It's a Tupac song.
I guess he's West Coast.
Who?
Well, Californian Kid. If he's coming out, that's pretty obvious.
Wow.
Are you trying to diss the Central Coast guys? I'm going to bring my Central Coast homies, man.
What's the Central Coast? You know what coast means?
These guys. This is what I got to deal with.
Do you know what coast means? I mean, forget about who Biggie and Tupac are. Do you know what a coast is?
Listen, man, I talk...
We got to end the show. I am losing it. AJ, you're the best. You're my favorite guy.
Central Coast.
What's a Central Coast?
C.
No, together. Look, Central Coast. They come together. East and West meet together.
In the Central Coast.
In the Central Coast.
The Middle Coast. The Mid Coast.
Because when you come together, we roast.
The Mid Atlantic, right?
No, man. It sounds better what I say. What is a Mid Atlantic?
Central Coast. Sure.
Sounds like...
Okay. So, subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net. Go to our website, ringsidereport.net, for more information on all of that. We are here on TSN 690 Friday nights talking mixed martial arts. I'm also on TSN 690 on Saturday nights talking professional wrestling with Wrestling Uncensored, another show you can watch on the youtube.com thing,
like pointing it
the
out.
Channel. AJ's pointing out that he's wearing the cool Johnny North t-shirt. Of course, Johnny North, the co-host on Wrestling Uncensored, and something that will drop either later tonight or is already on the website, depending on when you're listening or watching this show. There's going to be a new episode of What's Phantom in Japan coming up, either Friday morning or Saturday night, depending on when you're listening to. If you're listening to this show Friday night, it's already there, all right? So that's all you need to worry about. What's Phantom in Japan? A new episode drops this weekend. Myself and the Green Phantom talking about Japanese professional wrestling. There's a big tournament going on in the States, the Super J Cup from New Japan. The G1 happened, and so on and so on. So there's a lot going on in the world of pro wrestling. We've done a lot of shows. We've done a lot of business.
Live with Johnny North, you and Dave?
Me and Dave.
You and Johnny?
That's right. Dave and Johnny live every Friday afternoon. Be sure to watch that on the YouTube channel. That's YouTube exclusive. And then Ringside Report live every Thursday nights at 8 p.m. on the YouTube channel. Follow Freddie at Freddie MMA. Follow AJ at Danny Bruck. Follow me at Dave Simon MMA on Twitter, on Instagram, on all the things. Like I said, ringsidereport.net is the place to be.
Don't forget TSN 690 every Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah.
7 p.m.
Yeah, usually. Unless something else
happens. And what about
happens.
you guys in Peterborough? What's up with that?
Yeah,
give them a shout out, man.
Extra 90.5 in Peterborough, Ontario. Wrestling Uncensored airs there as well Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock.
Home of Scotty Bowman, man.
And I'm on Extra 90.5 Peterborough talking to my man Graham every Thursday morning at 10:30. We talk professional wrestling. So that's something you could kind of set up if you want to listen every Thursday morning. I'm on for a good 15, 20 minutes with my man Graham out there in Peterborough on Extra 90.5. You can listen to me. It's a regular appearance Thursday mornings at 10:30.
Yeah, but so much better
or 10:45. 10:45.
Dave, it's better with us, me and Freddie.
Well, I love you guys. Honest. I love everybody. All right, got a lot of love.
Are you Central, East, or West, Dave? You got to be one.
Well, I'm a Maritimer at heart, so I'd say I'm an East Coaster.
An East Toaster for sure.
East Toaster, yeah. We did it big in the East.
Hey,
all right.
Did you get
what?
Did you get shrieked?
Shrieked?
Is that
no, we didn't go on any
Screech,
ferries.
not shrieked. Screech.
I didn't drink Screech or anything strange like that. AJ, we got to wrap up this sucker.
Already?
Yeah,
Oh.
we've been wrapping it up for a while. Thanks to Marco for helping us out back at TSN 690, and a big thanks to you for listening and watching. For AJ and Fred, I'm Dave. This has been Ringside Report. We're still here. We're still live on YouTube, AJ.
We're still on.
Look alive. You want to end the show?
No, not at all.
This is the post show. This is
check some comments.
This is the after show. Johnny North has been commenting.
What has he been saying, Johnny? Actually,
he loves everything you do. Johnny North is a big AJ fan.
I'm a big Johnny North fan. Look, I'm wearing his T-shirt. By the way, Johnny, I need to get another. If you're listening, I need to get another T-shirt because there's a fan, some kid, that is a big Johnny North fan. So I got to get.
Remember that kid you promised a shirt?
You ever send a shirt?
You
to
ever
that
send
guy?
it to him? No, huh?
Listen,
AJ doesn't deliver.
No, I did deliver. You know what happened? It's because Muscles Marco moved my bag and he took some papers and he threw them out.
So it's your fault, Muscles.
Muscles. So I got to get that kid. If you're listening, kid, you know who I'm talking about. It's
Kid.
AJ. Yes, it's not sent out. Send me your coordinates again. I'm going to send you out another T-shirt. Thanks to Muscles Marco, we lost the address. Muscles.
Should we keep talking about Fred's dick?
No, I want to talk about Johnny. I got to give out a message to Johnny. There's a big fan for him. It's a kid. And I like to get a T-shirt that's signed. In fact, I'm going to give the kid this T-shirt, and we're going to resend him another T-shirt with your signature. Johnny North or A.K. Dave Simon, either or.
Is Johnny North also impersonating me?
No, he was pretending he was Freddie.
Could you stop fucking impersonating
What
me?
are you
How about
talking
that, motherfucker?
That was the best. We got 900 views because of that. That was awesome.
Because of you impersonating me.
Dave Simon Productions.
Don't sign my name.
Send the bill to Dave Simon.
Don't do that.
I did it several times. I'm sorry. Hey? You can't talk to
What
Yoda
kid?
like that.
Who's the kid?
It's a kid. He's a special kid.
Who's the kid?
He's a special needs kid.
Oh,
He
okay,
loves-
okay.
Yeah, he's an awesome kid.
It's not a kid you know.
Well, I know the kid, but I don't know him like that well. But he loves Johnny North. He has his poster now, and he's a big Johnny North.
There are Johnny North posters?
Yeah, I made them.
You're making Johnny North posters?
Yeah, and his postcards and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. AJ's busy, man. I'm a busy guy. I'm making posters all the time. Actually, we should get some posters. Why don't you get posters for us? No, Fred?
Does Johnny at least appreciate everything you do for his
Of course.
career?
Johnny.
Maybe you should turn on him.
What?
In the middle of one of his fights, you just smack him behind the head. man.
No. What I wanted to do, honestly, is to get involved in the fights. I said.
That would get your career going as a manager, I think, turning on Johnny North.
No, I can't do that. No, Johnny, I can't do that. There's some things you just can't do.
That would get you over.
It's
Big
like
time.
you don't have like dessert before the main course. You just can't do that.
Sometimes I do because I just feel like it. I'm a grown-up and I can make my own decisions. Sometimes I want a cookie before I have dinner.
I'm sure you do.
What are you
Does
going
the
to do
wife
about
approve of that? I don't know. But most
it? She
important
doesn't
thing
see.
is, no, you know what? We should do. Listen,
doesn't care.
First of all, I think Johnny has a big tournament September 22nd.
A
Which
tournament?
Is some wrestling tournament, yeah. He's fighting against, I think it's, what's his name?
Mike Marston?
Exactly.
That's not a tournament. It's a one match. It's not
Well,
a tournament. Do you know what a tournament is?
Whatever, man.
Do you know
Same
what a
thing.
coast is?
A toast? Of course I do.
Do you know what a coast is?
Oh, my God.
What's a coast?
The coast is as close. Dave. Anyways, let me get back to Johnny North.
No.
Let me get back to Johnny North.
What's next to a coast?
A roast? The way I'm getting roasted.
No,
right here.
what is next to a coast? What is always next
Or
to
a toast? Like I'm trying to get toasted.
What is always next to a coast?
Oh, you
Good
guys.
question, Fred.
Fred. Did you go on the Blue Nose, Dave? While you were out in the Maritimes?
Answer the question, my
I just
friend.
said it. I gave you a hint.
Answer
You
the
know the
question.
Blue Nose?
Just answer the question.
Where I was central, there was no coast. There was, well, I call it the Central Coast because AJ can say whatever he wants. But the thing is,
What is the Central Coast?
me, man, I'm Central Coast. Me and my hoodies.
What sea
And my
does it
homies.
meet?
Yeah, what sea borders the Central Coast?
Don't matter, man. It could be the big sea from like whatever.
You don't know what a coast is.
Dave.
You know what a coaster is.
I know what a coaster is. I know what a toaster is. I know what a
But you don't know what a
roaster
coast is.
is. Dave, I'm going to tell you something. Very simple.
Yeah.
AJ here one day, back in 2000, traveled from coast to coast. I'm probably the only guy in this room right now that has touched both parts.
Did you stop
the
in the
ocean.
Central Coast?
Yeah, coast.
Central actually went. I did go to Central. Any other question?
What's a coast?
I
I
think
just
that's
told you. I
enough.
went from coast to coast.
Well, why did you say Central Coast?
Because I feel like saying Central Coast, man.
But
Putting
you
the West
realize
and the
there's no
East.
such thing as a Central
It don't
Coast.
matter, man. It don't matter.
Do you know that it doesn't exist, or is it a joke? Like, I don't understand. Are you in on it, or are you?
Well,
not?
I mean, like those territories up there, they got a central coast because there's an ocean on top of them. No,
It's a northern coast.
no, northern coast.
Dave, Freddie's got a point there.
No, he doesn't.
Freddie's got a point.
I'm just
I don't know what's
trying
up
to
with
help you,
Freddie.
AJ.
It's okay,
Why?
buddy.
Why are you trying to help
Freddie's
him?
just been like rocking with me tonight. Listen, is anybody putting out any comments or whatnot? Tick.
We're wrapping this thing up.
What? Come
I
on,
can't
let's
handle
hear
it. It's too crazy.
Who's saying what there?
Johnny
Johnny.
North didn't know that you're making posters for him.
Come on, Johnny, you should know that. I'm like your manager. Johnny, why don't we do a gig like that together?
See, he doesn't appreciate you, man. You
What?
should manage somebody else, maybe.
Who?
I don't know.
Me.
Drew Onyx?
I'm gonna become a professional wrestler.
You should, actually,
and I'm gonna
Dave.
get my revenge on Johnny North.
What?
Johnny North!
You're going down.
I want all the gold, sucker! Johnny North! We're coming for you!
Yeah, but why are you going after poor Johnny, man? Johnny has been a heel for so long, and then things started to go better. He won the championship belt.
Johnny North's such a heel. He's even the heel on Wrestling Uncensored.
Yeah, that's not cool, dude.
Not cool, dude.
That's not cool, man.
I'll see you tomorrow, Big Johnny, for Dave and Johnny Live. Watch us tomorrow at around noon. It'll be
Yeah, but noon, 12:31.
little earlier.
Like,
no,
I'm
it'll be
always
like
getting screwed up.
12:15. 12:15.
Why are you going so early? Usually you go at 1.
Yeah, but because I wanted to do it early tomorrow. Okay, deal with it.
But let me know because, I got to take my lunch and,
Deal with it.
it's not
12:15 for Dave and Johnny Live tomorrow. If you excuse me, I have some business to take care of.
easy. Say what?
See you later.
Bye.